Y'all realize he's butt naked under that shirt, right?
Hello everyone! Now that the long-awaited King of the Hill reboot has dropped, I have decided to do the obligatory Thoughts on the Remake video. To preface, I intentionally avoided leaks, most clips, and other videos discussing the new season so that I could go in with an absolute clean slate. And now that I have watched every episode, I can safely say that I very much liked the new season. I do think the first half of the season is weaker than the second half, but that's to be expected for a show starting up again after ending 16 years ago. I think a good example of this is the very first scene where Hank is trying to use the airplane lavatory and is having issues. I think this scene goes on way too long, but it does set the tone that Hank is still Hank. And now here is my overview of the whole season. I have no restraint on spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you finish it out before you watch this video. Arriving home, Hank begins to take in the new surroundings and developments of Arlen. He uses an Uber ripoff to return home from the airport, and we, as an audience, can see what Bobby and the rest of the neighborhood have been up to. And it may be just me, but it seems that the characters are over-exaggerated caricatures of their earlier season counterparts. Boomhauer is more expressive in his feelings than usual, Bill is fatter and dirtier than usual, Dale is hiding in a trash can until Hank is ready to notice him instead of gathering intel. Peggy in the earlier episodes too seems to just be spitting out one-off comments that just serve as reminders that Peggy thinks highly of herself and she can't pronounce anything correctly. I mean, yeah, I get that's a big part of her character, but she has other character moments too. But that's okay. The characters seem to fall back into their usual routines as the season goes on. Bobby himself is running a restaurant in Dallas owned by the Wasanasong family, and Chain is his de facto boss, I guess. We learn pretty early on that Bobby takes his chef job seriously and puts in the hard work to be successful, like his father, often at the expense of having a steady social life for a person his age, also like his father. I love the establishing shots of Dallas in this show. As some of you may know, I actually live in Dallas, and when I first moved here, I was living in the more urban area near Lower Greenville, which I can totally see a restaurant like Robata Chain having a place there. The first episode implies that Hank, after seeing how different everything in Arlen is, may be considering moving back to Saudi Arabia, and flashbacks of his time there are pretty common, the first one being set to the tune of Lawrence of Arabia. This led me to believe that this new season would be more serialized and that there would be an overarching plot of Hank grappling with the idea of moving back to Saudi Arabia and the season ending with him deciding he was going to stay. In fact, the third act of the episode, he even gets a new job offer. But nope, it's actually resolved pretty quickly by the end of the first episode. Hank goes to the Megalomart with the new lowercase stylization of their sign, obviously a reference to Walmart's logo change. And while some may say that this is a rushed cop-out, I think it exemplifies Hank perfectly. Hank enjoys the simple pleasures of life and the simplicity of going to the store, buying Girl Scout cookies, Thin Mints are the best, and talking to the strangers about tools. That was Hank's life in the States, and that's the life that he wants. And from there, it's pretty much the status quo of the older seasons.
Yep.
Yup.
The Hill family and their day-to-day lives with a little surrealistic humor peppered in. It's fun to see where these characters ended up since the previous season. Boomhauer dates a single mom and does some side contract/therapy work. Bill becomes friends with a bunch of black barbers and pretends he's married to Peggy. Dale ran for mayor and won, then immediately gave up the office and goes back to exterminating. Nancy and John Redcorn started a real estate/lifestyle channel on the internet. Joseph lives with Bobby and works in construction. And yeah, all of that seems in character. A new addition to the group is Brian Robertson, who lived and kept up Hank's house while he was away, voiced by the great Keith David, which is nothing but a net positive for the show. I love Keith David and his awesome voice. I am a little disappointed we don't get to see more of his character, but we do see him just enough to remind us that he is indeed part of the neighborhood, and we'll probably see more of him as the series progresses. Maybe next year.
Not this year.
Then, of course, there's Khan. I remember thinking by the end of the third episode, where's Khan? When will he make an appearance? Connie is seen in the first episode, but she doesn't mention her parents. But Min at least is seen in the second episode, but Khan doesn't appear until the 8th. We find out in episode 8, Conscious Uncoupling, that Con and Min have been divorced for 2 years, and that they've been carrying on as if they were still married for the sake of their reputation, so it was just a meaningless title. Now, I say this because we find out throughout the course of the season that Connie is in an open relationship with Shane, Bobby's boss, but as she puts it, it's an open relationship in which both parties mutually agree and approve of other partners they want to engage with. And I find this to be out of character for Connie because she doesn't seem the type to have a quote-unquote boyfriend at all if she just wanted to hook up. So my theory is that Connie's way of coping is having some sort of parallel and that she has the girlfriend title, but it's a meaningless title essentially, as the actual relationship is not real. Just my take. There's also hints that Bobby and Connie may begin dating more seriously in the near future, and that scene in the 4th episode that has the flashback of their dance is just so sweet. Other characters I'm happy that made an appearance are Hank's brothers, Junichiro and Good Hank. Even though Junichiro's appearance is brief, I'm happy that canonically he's still in the picture. But even better, we get to see GH interacting with Hank as a teen, which is not something I thought I'd ever see. I'm a bit baffled at the age of GH, considering this shouldn't be more than 8 years in the future, so he should be like 9 at the oldest. But whatever, it's a floating timeline, who cares? Their episode features them both joining an Andrew Tate-like retreat that's basically a weekend-long woman-hating session. It's hysterical, probably my favorite one of the whole season. Oh, and Buck Strickland is back too, and he's just as scummy as always. I love it. And on a more somber note, episodes 7 and 10 both end with a special dedication to Johnny Hardwick and Jonathan Joss respectively, as both of their voice actors passed away before the new series aired. Rest in peace to 2 talented people. All in all, I loved the new series. I think it really started hitting its stride in the latter half of the season when the characters' new developments were more firmly established. As far as the voice work goes, I think Bobby's voice is just fine. Yeah, they could have gotten away with hiring an adult male, but I really think Pamela Adlon's voice fits perfectly. It wasn't distracting in any way. I can't really say the same about Khan's new voice. I can tell the actor is trying, but it's clearly not Toby Huss.
Even those geckos know it. Every night they have sex in my bed, mocking me. They make me watch.
Oh well, not the end of the world. That being said, Toby Huss does a decent job of imitating Dale in the later episodes. I can cope better with his change as it was done out of necessity. The new episodes are great. I do have my own thoughts episode to episode, but this video isn't meant to be an overview of the entire season. I can break down the episodes one by one if y'all really like, but for now, my thoughts are, it's great to have a steadying force like Hank Hill to bring some stability to the changing times. Oh, and I'm going to try to get the new Alamo beer, but North Texas isn't getting it until September. I actually called the H-E-B, a store I never go to inquire about it, and apparently demand was much higher than anticipated. Hello, this is Texas, and Texans are eager to celebrate a show that takes place in Texas. Oh, and to drink beer. I'll post a review of that as soon as I get some. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is Harvey McLeod, and I'm here to make videos for you, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.